Gotchasports. We are back from Nashville. Well, we're not in Nashville, but back from our trip to Nashville. Carrie, what did you think of it?
It was great as always. I've never had a bad time in Nashville. The legs are finally coming back around a bit.
They're healing.
Yeah, really, it's just my feet at this point. Probably from
my
the
calves are still
13.1
killing me,
miles.
dude.
Oh yeah. Now I feel my calves. They're not horrible. I think the thing that got me was 13.1 miles and then just ripping cowboy boots the rest of the night.
Yeah, that probably was a mistake from the both of us, but we look good. We look good while doing it.
You can't bring those things and just not wear them.
Oh, I agree. Especially with you, because you flew. You had to wear everything that you brought.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty close. We were able to get some laundry done, so some things might have gotten reworn, but even then, not really.
No, that's true. That's true. If it's your first time joining us, we are Gotchasports. Today's episode, we are going to talk about our trip to Nashville, Tennessee. I ran in a 10K. Carrie ran in a half marathon. Good time. We're also going to talk about the MLB lack of podcast over the past couple of weeks with our trip. I had gotten sick after our Nashville trip, so do apologize for that. We are going to do the Immaculate Grid, attempt to go 9 for 9. We've only done it once on this podcast. Going to talk about a couple of other sports, just kind of random NBA playoff stuff. I actually have a golf question for you, Carrie, and for the people to answer and comment. Gear grinders, of course, we have to do that first episode back, and then the best bet. But Carrie, Nashville was awesome. We had some incredible food, incredible company, incredible time. Talk about your race, because you did the half marathon, the only one in our group that did the half marathon. Talk about how that went and what was your favorite part about that day?
Well, overall trip was perfect. You know, it had the relaxation. It had the don't be a sack of shit and just drink all weekend aspect with the race. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we also had the part of it where we did get after it pretty good Saturday night. So I think it was it was a very ideal trip. Like I didn't go there. I didn't just drink the whole time, eat like shit. Like I felt good coming home. But I will say one night in Nashville is not enough if you want to experience the entire city, because
it's enough for the bank account. It's a very well enough for the bank account.
A couple hours might be good enough. Race went great. That was my second half marathon. I will say I was surprisingly shocked that it was a much harder course than San Diego. And of course, my dumbass didn't look up the course at all this time. I knew every in and out of the San Diego course before I ran it. I knew when it was going to get hard. I knew when it was going to get steep. I knew when there was going to be like big downhills and I could pick it up a little bit. From the very jump of this Nashville half marathon, I think we turned a corner, maybe not even a quarter of a mile in, and I just see a massive hill, and I was like, I knew I was in trouble. Like I knew deep down I'd be fine, and my main concern was just not walking at all, and I didn't walk at all, which is great. But man, I will tell you what, my finishing pictures for my first half marathon turned out pretty solid. These ones I will not need at all.
You won't be purchasing them.
Nope. The Nashville pre-picks or whatever the hell company sends them, they can hold on to
them. That's hilarious. I do agree with you, though. Trip overall was unreal. I mean, Nashville was just a great time. I will say on Friday, the day before the race, I did get after it just a little bit, just enough to feel it in the morning, which, to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad I did. We did go to the Nashville Sounds AAA baseball game, which was a ton of fun. We played cornhole. We played ping pong there, had a couple of drinks, had some hot dogs, won some money, which was awesome. The 10K, first time ever running an event, quotes, because I will put quotes around it, training for some sort of run. Yeah, a lot more uphill than I was expecting. I'll be honest.
Dude,
I did not walk at all. I will say that at mile 3.5, I did have to take a piss, and luckily there was a porta john along the track, so I was able to do that. But it did fuck my time, and I did miss my goal by 28 seconds. But that's okay. That's okay, because realistically, after drinking 15 beers the night before, was I gonna make my goal? Probably not. But the fact that I was that close and didn't make it was a little disappointing, I'll be honest.
I really think Riley strolled out and got out from the covers when I told him we had to leave in 12 minutes. and this is with him probably having to run a race in about 45 minutes. And my race didn't even start for another hour and a half. And I was showered.
Yeah.
I was ready to go. I ate breakfast. I had an energy drink in the system already. So I think there's levels to it. And I think the running bug kind of bit me a while ago. But what I wanted to say about earlier also was that I feel like I've ran enough that I'm able to say this confidently that I would, if you're ever looking for a race, don't start with Nashville.
Do not.
It's hell.
Do not.
It's humid.
Yeah.
I was sweating my ass off. I mean, I know seeing my sister at like mile 9 or 10, I think was big for me. I wish I saw you guys, but I think I was hurting so bad. And my head was probably staring just straight at the ground because I was hurting so bad because I know it was the very end.
For those that don't know, me and two other buddies went to go meet Carrie at what, like mile 11 and a half, maybe even 12. Yeah. And I kid you not, we were screaming at Carrie. Like, come on. And it was crazy too, because like 3, maybe 4 minutes before, some guy who was hurting bad, we were sitting there and you just saw kind of 3 dudes similar his age were like, I need to pick me up. It came up to us, gave us high fives. We're like, oh, this meeting with Carrie at mile 12 is going to be electric. Carrie turns the corner and we are screaming, waving our hands, clapping, and Carrie just completely ignores us. Completely ignores us.
There's no way I ignored you. My eyes were glued to the concrete and just prepared to fall forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, overall though, Nashville was sick.
I will say kind of a weak medal design compared to last year. I know you guys have seen mine from last year and the one this year. Still cool, but actually we can compare real quick. They're right here.
Yeah. Here is for those watching on YouTube, you can see our medals. This is the one that I got for running the 10K this year. And that's the one that Carrie got last year. Definitely a better design for Carrie. This is pretty lame.
Yeah. And I also think it's kind of weak that it's like square shaped. I don't really know how to explain it. Like the 10K one from last year has multiple like indents, multiple like tough cuts, if that makes sense.
Oh, they definitely put a little bit more effort into it. Like
my San Diego one has a little bear carved into it.
Yeah, that's sick.
But we get a simple, boring square. I don't know how else to really explain it, but it's just not. I wasn't as juiced for getting it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I will say, regardless of what happened, the fact that I didn't meet my goal, finishing that race, no matter what the time was, even if I was 5 minutes past what I wanted to be, it was always from 6:30 until 7:30. Just get through it. Just get through it. Yeah. And then Saturday was a movie. And I've said it on this podcast before. I like to boogie a little bit. I can get down and I can boogie a little bit. Line dancing at Luke Combs' bar was a ton of fun.
So much fun. I will say, if you're not a fan of stairs, don't go to Nashville either, because there are
so many stairs, dude.
There's 100 steps. There's 100 steps per bar.
Carrie, we were getting laughed at walking up and down those stairs. And I apologize for the people that were behind us, because it took us a good minute or two to get up 7 or 8 steps of stairs. And when you're in Nashville and you want to go to the rooftop, there's about 65 stairs that you have to go up. And I apologize for the people that are behind us because, man, they had to wait probably longer than they should have.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I definitely heard a few laughs. I think my sister was even a few of them. Honestly, I think I don't think she was hurting as bad as we were. At least not the night of. But for people that have not been in a race, haven't ran much, what was your overall experience or advice that you could give to anyone that wants to run? And just in general, how was your overall experience from pre-race of having really like no expectation of it and then running it, during it, seeing all the people, stuff like that?
Yeah. I will say one advice is don't drink 15 beers the night before if you're trying to meet a goal
Yeah.
because it will not end well. I would definitely say, and again, it's different depending on if you know the course or not. Given where I live now in Indianapolis, it's relatively flat, which I mean, it is just simply flat. So it's hard to train like inclines. I mean, even going downhill is difficult because, yeah, sure, you can sprint it, but you're going to exhaust energy right away. And I think that was my downfall is I feel like compared to my runs that I trained for, I feel like I started faster than I have in the past. And also, it started a little bit downhill. So I got out of energy pretty quick. Also, don't drink an energy drink and a 32-ounce water before because you're going to have to pee about 3 miles in. It's just not good. It'll slow you down in the end. But honestly, while running, it was pretty cool. Running in a city that you don't normally or you're not normally in, the people that support people running, whether it's the mile, the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, or even the marathon, you have a bunch of people out there cheering you on and you don't know them. They're like, you know what? You're doing great. Keep going. You're almost there. Like even just some stranger saying that gives you that extra push when you're dead with, I don't know, a third of a mile left just to push a little bit harder. But overall, like I don't regret anything about it. You go to Nashville, you have a good time, and I ended up drinking 15 beers and then waking up and running 6.2 or 6.1 miles. I still don't even know what a 10K is. Uh, it feels good once you finish. Like it actually feels good. You feel accomplished, and then you can just go out and let loose.
Yeah,
Great
brunch is
time,
definitely
no regrets.
brunch is definitely one of my
Glad I did
favorites.
it. Yeah, it was a cool course to run through the city of Nashville. I think the experience, like the entire event, is just it's really neat, and I
Yeah.
recommend anybody, whether it's Nashville or San Diego or Chicago or Boston or New York, wherever it is, if you can sign up and you want to train a little bit, it forces you to get in shape a little bit. I highly recommend it. Will I be doing it a ton in my life? Probably not, if I'm going to be honest, but I do
We'll see
think
if
you
I
should
can convince him
experience it
again.
a time or two. Yeah, you probably will, but
Um, another note, which I didn't know this, the full marathon there actually went through and onto the Sounds baseball field.
did it?
Yeah. It came through like the right field wall and you looped around all the way to the left field wall.
Oh, that's sick. I should have ran the marathon.
I know. I saw that and I was like, yeah,
No, it would have
I
been
don't
kind
know.
of cool though. It would have been kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't even want to imagine the amount of pain my legs would have been doing the full, but
You wouldn't have been wearing cowboy boots, I can tell you that.
I would not have been moving.
Now, once you took your shoes off, your feet would have been so swollen.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's never bad to get a little run in.
No, I agree.
That's really all I got to
It was
say
an
about
awesome
it.
trip. It was an
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
trip.
We'll do it again next year. I'm doing the marathon. All the boys and my sister will be doing the half marathon.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it. All right. For those watching on YouTube, they're going to see Carrie sucking on an ice cream. But, Carrie, we do have to talk about the MLB. We've only had one podcast in the last week and a half or so. A couple things I want to discuss, and I feel like we didn't really discuss it on the last episode. Jock Peterson started the year 0 for 41 and finally gets his first hit. Man, what a relief. I mean, that guy probably had more relief getting a hit than I did finishing the 10K.
Probably. And his hit was an absolute laser beam. It
Laser,
was like a 110
dude.
line drive. One hop the center field wall.
Yeah. No, I mean, what a relief for Jock. And we know Jock Peterson as a guy, obviously played for the Dodgers. He's been on some elite teams and has had big at-bats in playoff baseball. For him to finally break that 0 for 41 streak, well done. Tip your cap.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Not so much his hit, but going 0 for 41. I mean, a lot of players would do that if it was easy, and it's not. So that kind of says something. Going 0 for 41 and staying in the league is nuts.
Baseball's just hard, man. Hitting consistently is difficult. We even see guys like, obviously 0 for 41 is more of a slump than most people, but you even see guys like, I don't even know, like even Brendan Donovan for the Cardinals got off to a hot start in the first 5 or 6 games, only didn't get a hit in 2 games, and then now has been 0 for 10 or 0 for 11 in his last 11 ABs. Like, your batting average is going to fluctuate, especially early on when you have less ABs. You could go from a 150, 200 hitter to a 400 hitter in the matter of 2 series. And for a guy like Jock Peterson, or we even saw it with Rafael Devers earlier in the year with his start, I mean, that guy's hitting almost 250, or he's hitting 250.
Yeah, and he struck out like 14 out of his first 20 at-bats?
Yeah, I know that he's kind of been struggling as a recent, but I mean, still, it fluctuates so much, especially at this level. I mean, it's very hard to consistently stay at that 280 to 300 mark. And you're going to see guys like Jock Peterson or Brendan Donovan, or honestly, even Rafael Devers fluctuate between 230 and 300 hitters all year.
Oh, yeah. I also had this on my mind just to keep it in the MLB. Shout out to teams not in a slump right now. The Yankees and the Cardinals each were able to go back-to-back home runs. The Yankees even did it in the very first inning and completed the team cycle in the first inning. I can't imagine being that pitcher, but it was on the Orioles, and he stated that the torpedo bat might make him leave baseball. You are a loser.
Which is,
I hate the torpedo bat.
Yeah, bullshit.
But if you say that, you're just a garbage pitcher. You
and
don't
it was
accidentally
what?
hit
Charlie
back-to-back
Morton
home
too?
runs. It wasn't Charlie
And
Morton.
it's not.
Oh. No, they were playing the Orioles when that happened. Or is he on the Orioles now? It wasn't Charlie Morton.
I think he's a pitcher for.
It wasn't Charlie Morton.
And anyway, the fact that you come out and say that it's because of the torpedo bats, if you go back and look at those pitches, they were right down the middle.
Cock middle.
They were bad pitches, but shout out to the Yankees becoming the first team ever to start a game back to back in multiple games in one season. And again, to your point, the hit for the team cycle in the top of the first inning, which if a team hits for a cycle in a game at all is, I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's not that common for that to happen.
Triple isn't easy to get
for a team. No, right. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, shout out the Yankees for doing that. And honestly, New York in general right now is just on a hot streak. The Mets won, 8 or 9 games, 4 of them against the Cardinals. So does it really count? I don't know. But the Mets did win like 9 games. Juan Soto still struggling right now. I mean, they paid the guy $700+ million to hit 230 and have 3 home runs through 30 games of baseball. Not great.
No, I was saying it earlier. He got that massive ass contract. The Cubs get Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker had better stats last year. Arguably was Houston's best hitter last year. Probably the Cubs' best hitter right now. He's not getting near that money. Should he? Yes. Well, even that amount of money
Nah.
is insane for any player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like in my opinion, you can't tell me that Kyle Tucker is not a better hitter.
Oh no, I mean he's definitely shown it, but again, we see these guys that like Juan Soto that started off their career so young and so hot that they're going to get that contract at the age of 27, 28. Kyle Tucker's been a good hitter his entire career, but he's really kind of taken off in the past 2 or 3 years. And once you pass that age threshold, the amount of money that you get is just going to go down. It's just the nature of sports, just the nature of contracts, just the nature of when people think that you're in your prime. And Juan Soto got that contract when he was going to be in his prime. And I also feel like this happens all the time in sports where somebody gets a big contract and that next year doesn't live up to the expectation. Does that mean that it will in the future? Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, for a guy that like Juan Soto that's been killing it pretty much every year that he's in baseball, to have this start of the year with the Mets is pretty shocking, honestly.
I mean, if you really think about it too, Juan Soto has never been the best hitter on any team he's been on. You had him with the Nationals.
Yeah,
That's when he was
yeah,
18, 19 years old. He was still learning. He was good,
yeah,
but wasn't putting up insane numbers. Then he's with the Padres. Padres still have Fernando Tatis and
yeah.
what's his nuts? I fucking hate him at third base, Machado.
Machado.
And I think Machado's obviously slowed down, but I mean, I still think Tatis was just as good, if not of a better hitter at the Padres than Juan Soto was. Then he goes to the
No,
Yankees.
yeah,
Aaron Judge has been one of the most ferocious hitters the past 2 or 3 years, and is always up there for home
yeah.
run leader close or towards the end of the year. And now he's just truly getting worked, like he is the hitter on the team. And I think it's just he's not getting as many fastballs. He's not getting as many cookies. Like teams are willing to walk him if they have to. Um, I think that's just how you beat him too. Like you pitch around the zone, he's gonna swing. Yeah, like he does have a very good eye, but eventually you just get anxious. Every player does.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that with Juan Soto and the Mets, this is similar to last year, where they didn't have the fastest start? They started to click, then they kind of lost it, and then that's when they really clicked, is about 40, 50, 60 games in, and then they make the run like they do in the postseason. Obviously, it came a little bit later last year, but they do have more talent this year. So do you think that the Mets are in a similar position? Do you think that they're in a better position this year? Or do you think that it's going to just be another New York team that gets to the postseason and gets out early?
The Mets are a very dangerous playoff team this year. I I would throw them up there as one of the teams that has a potential to win it all. I will say,
Even with how stacked, top heavy, not all around the league, but top heavy the National League is.
yeah, I do
I mean, you
think
got the
so.
Phillies, you got the
My,
Padres, you got obviously you have the Dodgers. I mean, that's
I think
not many
I
teams
don't,
in baseball make the playoffs.
dude. The Phillies, they can never just finish out a year. They've
You're
had
true.
talent to compete for a World Series, and they just can't win that series. Um, but my thing is what I was going to say earlier. I don't retract my statement that the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, but I will say they look more and more beatable. I think they are an older team. Some of their pitchers have been getting hurt. I don't think they're as big of a lock as I thought they once were. I saw an
Yeah.
article maybe, I don't know, 3, 4 days ago that the Cubs were actually up there for most likely to win the World Series. How? I don't know. But they've been playing good ball. I'm not shit talking the Cubs by saying they don't have a chance. It's just in my eyes, even with winning 2 out of the 3 series with the Dodgers, I just don't see it right now that we would beat them in playoff baseball.
No, I'd agree. I would say the Dodgers are definitely more beatable in a 7 game series come playoff time than I thought. I still think the Dodgers are the front runner though, and I I still think it's by a lot. But no, I definitely think that they're beatable. And honestly, like even this Mets team, going back to the Phillies, like the Phillies start this year kind of reminds me of the Mets start last year. They have a ton of talent. They have a good rotation. They have a good enough bullpen. It's just a matter of if they click. I mean, you got like Alec Boehm could go off at any moment, but three different guys can do that too. Bryce Harper's going to be Bryce Harper. Schwarber's going to give you the bomb every now and then. Trey Turner is going to be your consistent hitter. But it's a matter of when those guys put it together and if they do it at the right time. I think, again, this Phillies team reminds me of the Mets. Granted, the Mets last year, nobody expected Mark Vientos to have the postseason that he did. Will the Phillies have a guy like that? I don't know, but I do think that there's a lot of similarities in those two teams. And again, in the National League, are the Dodgers beatable? Yes, but it's who's going to be that team that's going to be able to compete with them in a 7-game series. That I think is still to be determined.
Yeah, I agree. I think the shorter the series, the Dodgers, the better. I think a 7-game, you're just asking for them to linger and just stick around. Like that's an example where a 3-1 lead is still not that. It's a great spot to be in, but I would nowhere near consider the series over 3-1 against the Dodgers.
I would agree. And honestly, going into the season, I would have said, you know what, if the Dodgers have a lead in any game, that game's over. But that's not the case because, again, and it's a lot different come postseason time, but the Dodgers are a streaky team, more streaky than I thought they would be, given the lineup that they have. So, yeah, I mean, if they're not clicking at the right time, they're beatable. First series, they're beatable.
I don't know why this just popped in my head. Have you seen Cortez throw in a while for the Brewers?
I have not. I know that's your favorite player, though.
I could really use a game where he just gets shit on again. I don't know why. I've been missing out on him. I haven't
a little morale boost.
I have seen zero updates on him. I need to figure out what's going on.
No, I hear you. MLB's full swing though. We are in the nitty gritty. Division series rivalries have started. We're starting to get into that time where division records actually matter, and we're just gonna keep rolling with it. But Carrie, we're gonna go 9 for 9 on this Immaculate grid.
Yes,
Probably
we are,
not,
Cotton.
but I'm gonna share my screen here, and we're gonna get this rolling. Immaculate grid. This episode of Gotchasports, we got the Phillies on the top row, 100-plus run season, played outfield all on the top. On the left side, we got the St. Louis Cardinals, Houston Astros, and Gold Glove. Carrie, what do you want to start with?
Gold Glove, played outfield. You want to just use Ichiro? He's not with any of those teams.
Yeah, I was thinking Steven Kwan, but I love Ichiro. I was trying to get some rarity points here. 6%, pretty good. All right, Carrie, I'm going to do this just because I think it'll be less than a 1%, maybe more, but close enough. Played outfield for the Cardinals, Brendan Donovan. Guys played everywhere.
I was going to say Dexter Fowler.
Well, that works too. 1%. All right. You want to do
Kyle Tucker,
Astros
dude.
For what?
Kyle Tucker, King Tuck.
For outfield?
Outfield, Houston. Yep.
All right, I'm with that.
He's the king.
7%. All right, that's all right. That's actually higher than I expected. You want to do Astros 100-plus run season, Craig Biggio?
Yes.
We're just moving along this, Care. 21%. All right. Cardinals, Phillies, and I know typically we save we save this one. Scott Rowland, one of my favorite players of all time, actually, but I feel like that's going to be a high rarity, so I'm going to save that. because I want to try to think of a different one.
I feel like 100-run
100
season might be
plus
kind of
runs.
tough for St. Louis.
I mean, Albert Pujols. There's just gonna be some high. I want to. Let
You
me.
think
Let me
you
try to
think
think of
you
some
think those
ones.
slow ass dudes have 100 runs?
Yes, Pujols for sure.
Like 100 times in a season.
Yes.
Well, all right, I trust you. Does
But
JT
again,
Real Muto have a Gold Glove?
yeah. I was also
Phillies
thinking
then?
Zach Wheeler. Didn't he win a Gold Glove? Not maybe not last year, but the year before. Or Jimmy Rollins, Phillies Gold Glove.
If you're going by rarity, I
I feel
think
like
Jimmy
all three. I
Rollins
feel
would
like all
probably
three
be
of those are
more,
correct.
would be higher.
I'm
I would
cool
go with all of
with
them. Or
I'm cool with Real Muto.
I think
Nice care.
11. Buzzkill.
Um.
It says trying to reconnect for
All
me,
right,
by
we
the
got
way.
4 guesses left. We're 5 for 5 right now. All right, Carrie. Gold Glove, 100+ run season. I mean, we could do Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays. We can do probably any of them.
Howie Kendrick. I actually don't know if he's one of them. Don't use that.
Howie Kendrick with the 3 names that I just mentioned. I do like that, though. I do like that. All right, Carrie, you pick. You
uh,
pick. If you want to go Howie Kendrick, I'm down.
what about Ricky Hendricks or Ricky
Ricky
Henderson, whatever?
Henderson. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
I'm
big
cool with
base
that.
stealer. I'd imagine he has to have it.
Oh, yeah, I'm with that. Nice, 3%.
All right.
All right, Carrie. I can knock. We can knock out the Cardinals, Phillies, and the Cardinals 100+ run season. They may not be high rarity, but I can knock them out.
Yeah, I would just get him out of the way so we can focus on Houston
All
and the
right, we're gonna go.
Phillies.
We're gonna go Scott Rowland. I know there's some others. 34%. All right. And then we'll just go pool hose because I know that one's for sure. 27%. All right, Carrie. Last one. Phillies, Astros to go 9 for 9. Immaculate grid. Perfect score. Phillies, Astros.
Uh oh.
You got something?
No, I don't have anything. Even worse.
I'm trying to think of even from the World Series team, like recent World Series teams with all the trades that they've made. Like any of the pitchers that were from that
Harrison
team.
Harrison Bader didn't play for the Phillies or Astros, did he?
No, Harrison Bader was on the Cardinals, the Mets. Well, he's on the Mets now. Or no, he's on the Twins now. He was on the
Yeah.
Mets and then was on the Cardinals before then. Um, Carey, I might have it.
What are you thinking?
Roy Oswalt. He was an Astro for sure because he's got an MLB The Show card in an Astros uniform. And I feel like he was a Philly. Was he on the rotation for the Phillies when was it Roy Halladay that threw the no-hitter a perfect game in the playoffs?
In like game 2 or whatever?
Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like they had two I don't know.
I would say go for it.
Oh, please be right. I don't know. 2001 to 2013. Oh, I don't know about that. You want me to do a
12-year
care?
career ain't too shabby. Yeah.
Boom! Let's go, Carrie. 9 for 9.
Fire.
Perfect. Immaculate grid. Second time on the podcast. Let's go, dude. That's electric.
128 ain't bad.
That's not bad. I feel like that beat our last one.
Yeah, I think we were in like the 300s on that one.
Let's go, dude. Right. Second time. Immaculate grid. Perfect. 9 for 9. Let's go, Carrie. That's big time. That's big time for the program.
We needed that.
We needed it. We sure did. I do want to touch on, though, Carrie, speaking of some other sports, being in Indianapolis, the Pacers, Indiana Pacers, they went in dramatic fashion to move on. In the last 20 years, NBA playoff teams were 0 in 1,609. So over 1,600 games, the team has not won by trailing 7 points or more with 40 seconds or less. The Pacers finally broke this, and Giannis had a lot to say to Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Rightfully so.
Yeah. I know, that was hilarious. I'm very happy. I don't give a shit about the NBA, but I am very happy that the Pacers beat the Bucks. The Bucks are probably one of my least favorite teams. So, that
Really?
Great news. Yep.
Any particular reason why?
Not that needs to be mentioned.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. But shout out Indianapolis. Yeah. City's buzzing right now with the Pacers, and even the Colts, I feel like, had an unreal draft with the picks that they got. So a lot of excitement around the Indianapolis Colts as well. So that's exciting. Carrie, I do have a golf question for you, though, or for the people. Golf question. What percentage of golfers do you think have actually walked a full round, all 18 holes, at least once in their life?
Oh, brother.
And there's not like an actual answer. This is just something I thought of when golfing.
Right. I mean, I would like to think that it's well over 90%.
No.
Because, bro, like I started playing before they would even let us get a cart. That's how young I was when I was playing.
No, yeah, I mean, that's true.
That's like my thought process.
You think it's... No, yeah. Definitely the older generation for sure has walked.
Right. So I think my safe pick would be like 85%. I think the majority of golfers have walked 18 holes of golf in their life. At least.
I'm gonna put it at 73.
All right. Kind of an awkward number, but sure.
I'm gonna put it at 73 because, quite frankly, I think I've only walked maybe 2 full 18-hole round or 18 holes, a full round of golf.
I probably have well over 20.
Oh, I don't. And I feel like especially a lot of like newer golfers, which golf, I would say, it definitely has grown over the past 3, 4, 5 years. I feel like nobody that's gotten started in golf walks, at least not in the area that I'm in.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm imagining people at a young age have already been playing. Or like,
yeah.
Sometimes you got to go out, no carts, but you still want to get 18 in. Due to weather.
Let's say, do you think the majority of golfers, if it's a little bit wet out and they're saying no carts, walking only, what percentage do you think of golfers would turn that away and not play?
And play, we're talking about play the full 18.
Yeah, play the full 18. They'd walk the full 18 when it's wet out because they can't use a car.
Over 90% of them are going home.
You think so?
100%. Yes. I'm not even.
Would you?
I think the last time I actually had that option, I did walk the full 18 at Elbow.
Shout out.
I think it was like a thing where like I had a really early tee time and they were like, oh, we're thinking by the time you're done with the front, we'll have carts ready to go. I get all the way around through 9, expecting a cart, like having a decent round. And they're like,
they just took your money, dude.
Yeah, we're still not doing carts, so you can just like get your refund on the cart. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was like, I may as well just walk the rest of the 9. Like I didn't have much better to do with my day. Considered that my workout,
Fair.
walking with the clubs and everything. So, I mean, I've walked around then within my past like 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's, and maybe it's just I'm being dumb, but I feel like it's a lower percentage than people might think.
Dude, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 95% is not walking and playing 18.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I don't know. I don't think it's that high, but I would recommend. It's a different experience golfing, walking a full 18 than riding in a cart, I'd say.
It's definitely more humbling.
Yeah, that
like,
is true.
what did
Not
people do in the 1800s?
But when you're going bunker to bunker,
yeah. You got to figure out where to set your clubs.
Yeah, dude.
Your entire
do I set
bag.
it on the fringe or do I not? Do I walk to the back of the green to set them down or do I not? It's a lot more thinking.
Right.
It sure is.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you. I agree. But Carrie, unfortunately, we do have to get to the sad part of the episode, and that is gear grinders. Carrie, what is your gear grinder this week?
My gear grinder is the majority of every single driver in Nashville. I've complained about Michigan drivers. I've complained about the Arizona drivers.
Ohio
drivers. I've complained about Ohio, people living in Chicago. I'm complaining about them all. I've always said that like one is worse than the other, or these people cannot drive. Nashville drivers are the stupidest drivers I've ever seen in my life.
They don't
just doing outrageous shit I've never seen before.
They don't give a hoot, dude.
Like, I genuinely don't know if I felt safe in the car one time over the weekend. And the Uber drivers, absolute characters.
Like, they were characters.
I don't even want to repeat what he said, but we literally stepped in the car, told the dude we were racing. And his one-liner that he opened up with was like, dude, I don't want to be in this car anymore.
Also, the same driver stopped at the gas station to pick up a 30 rack of Busch Light, which, you know what? Fair play. The guy drove all day, drove all night.
Yeah, he goes,
get some drinks after. But
he just goes, you know what? I'm done for the night. You guys got me inspired. I'm going to drink. And we were like, bro. We were like, you are not driving us back to the apartment. We'll walk from here.
No, we're walking. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
No, I do agree with you, though. Even when we were on our way to the race, when we got in that left turn lane and the other car decided to get into that left turn lane as well, later than probably most people would.
Way later. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was a problem. It was a problem for sure.
Yeah, I could not deal with that every day. We literally saw something every day. It was just absolutely wild.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Cars turn out in front of you and go 5 miles an hour. And it's it's not okay.
It's not. I agree with you.
But enough of that. Let's get to your gear grinder for this week.
My gear grinder this week is you, Carrie. It's you. I asked you if this 10K was hilly, and you said it was relatively flat.
The course changed. It was a different course.
That race was not relatively flat at all. I actually don't know if there were any flat parts in the entire race.
It was a different course.
50% uphill, and it was 50% downhill.
Blame the Titans for getting a brand new stadium.
All I'm saying, Kerry, is you ran the race last year, and I asked you if it was relatively flat. Or I asked you if it was hilly, and you said it was relatively flat. That bitch was not flat at all. It was not
One,
flat at all.
I probably helped you not be nervous going into the race then. Two, if I told you that, you would not have trained any differently.
Correct. That is a correct statement. 100%
Yeah.
agree with you. But all I'm saying is, when I was running straight uphill for miles, Carrie, all I
Miles
could
is
think in my
excessive.
head, was, fuck this dude. Fuck Carrie, dude. He steered me so wrong. I was going into it thinking, you know what? I'm going to have some inclines. I'm going to have some declines. Mostly going to be flat, not flat at all.
Yeah.
Not
I
remotely flat.
I will say the scenery of the race was great. The trail
Yeah.
or just the trail was fucking hard. I like
It was difficult.
I would like to do a marathon eventually in my life, whether that's this year or next year. And whether I go back to Nashville to do a race again or not, I will not do the marathon there. I won't.
I can't even imagine. I only ran like 8 miles. And
I mean, you guys
it
saw
was
how I
not
looked
flat.
after 12, and
Oh
it,
no,
it
we
evidently
saw.
was not great.
No, you could. I wouldn't have been surprised if you hurled turning that corner that we saw you at.
I never thought I was gonna throw up. I just like my legs were in so much pain, and I think I was just gassed from like even when I grab water or the electrolyte drink. Like I already told you, I
Yeah,
don't stop. I just keep moving. I maybe
yeah,
get an eighth of it in my mouth. The rest of it's on my shirt, in my
yep,
face, on my literally in
yeah,
my eyes, and it's literally like you just trying to moisten up your tongue a little bit.
yep. 100%, 100%. But you're my gear grinder this week. But apologies for only one episode this week. Again, a little sickness after Nashville. Partied a little too hard, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. But if it's your first time joining us, we are Gotcha Sports. Appreciate you, returners. All the love. Go follow us on all of our socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, you name it. We got it. Leave us a 5-star review. Why not? Haven't seen one come through after we've been asking for a little bit, so one would be pretty cool. So go ahead, get it done. We're Gotcha Sports. Carrie, that's all I got. What do you got?
We gotcha sports.
Until next time.